pretend that the silence doesn't hurt. It's okay to cry, to question, to yell into the sky and say, "Where are you?" That doesn't make you faceless. It makes you human. Even Jesus, hanging on the cross, cried out, "My God, why have you forsaken me?" If he could say that, so can you. And yet, in that same breath we trust, we keep walking, we keep loving, we keep hoping. The silence is not the end, the report. It's a chapter, a hard one, yes, but not the whole story. Keep showing up. Keep praying, even if your prayers feel empty. Keep reading the words, even when they don't come alive. One day they will. The silence will break, the dawn will come, and when it does, you'll be stronger, softer, deeper than you were before. Not because you avoided the silence, but because you walked through it with God. I once read that the opposite of faith is not doubt, it's certainty. Faith leaves room for mystery, for silence, for waiting. And that's what makes it beautiful. If everything were obvious, if God always answered instantly, we wouldn't need faith, we'd only need facts. But God invites us into something more profound, a relationship, a walk, a story. And every story has its silent chapters. If you're in one now, don't rush to the end. Don't flip ahead to see how it finishes. Stay in this moment. Ask, what is this silence shaping in me? What can I learn here that I couldn't anywhere else? How can I love God not just in blessing, but in mystery? These are the questions that form saints. And they don't come in the noise, they come in the stillness, in the quiet fields of trust, where no answer comes quickly, but grace does, like rain, quiet, gentle. One of the hardest things about God's silence is that it often feels so personal, like you're being ignored, like you did something wrong. But silence is not rejection, it is not punishment, and it is not proof that you are unworthy. In fact, silence often comes to those God trusts, those he is preparing, those he loves deeply. Think of Mary, the mother of Jesus. She received a word, then waited in silence for months, years. She carried mystery in her body and heard nothing more. Yet she trusted, she pondered, she held space for the unknown. That's what we're invited to do, to carry the unknown, to walk faithfully with a God we cannot always hear, to believe that he is working, even in the quiet. That's not weakness, that's strength, that's maturity, that's love. So, if you're there now, don't be ashamed. You're in good company. You're walking the path of the faithful, and you are not alone. When God finally does speak again, and he will, it often comes not as a thunderclap, but as a whisper, not in grand announcements, but in quiet clarity. And by then, something in us has changed. We've been softened, strengthened, readied. The silence was not wasted. It made space for something new, a deeper hearing, a humbler heart, a faith that isn't shaken by noise or silence, but anchored in love. When the whisper comes, you'll recognize it, because you've waited. You've learned its sound, and you'll receive it not with desperation, but with peace, with gratitude, because you know now God was there all along, in the silence, in the stillness, in the dark. The silence didn't separate you from him. It drew you closer. It stripped away what was shallow. It gave you something more lasting, trust. Here's the mystery. Once you've walked with God through silence, you carry something different, a quiet confidence, a steady peace. You don't need the noise to know he's near. You've seen what others can't. You've held on when there was nothing but air, and that kind of faith can move mountains, not because it's loud, but because it's deep. That's what the world needs now. Not more noise, not more shouting. The people who have been through the silence and stayed faithful, people who radiate peace, who carry hope, who live with gentle strength. That can be you, if you let the silence form you, if you stay, if you trust. So take heart. If God feels silent right now, it doesn't mean you're forgotten. It may mean you're being formed, held, loved in ways you don't yet understand. Keep walking, keep praying, keep showing up. The silence will not last forever, but the strength it builds might. And that strength will carry you through storms you haven't even met yet. You are not lost, you are being led. Even here, even now, especially now. The silence of God is not a void. It is a vineyard where unseen things grow, where roots deepen, where faith is made real. So listen with more than your ears. Listen with your life. Let the silence speak. Let it teach. Let it heal. Because even when God says nothing, he is saying something. He is saying, I am still here, I am still good, and I am still with you, always.